Real fast, I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Upworthy Weekly. It's a lighthearted news podcast. It comes out on Saturdays, and I have forced my co-host, Todd Perry, to join me here to help me tell you about our new venture. Todd, why should they listen?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they think, oh, it's the Upworthy podcast. It's just going to be sunshine and it's going to be unicorns. But you know what? It's really not that. Allison doesn't have the ability. She doesn't have it in her to actually be that person that I thought we were hiring when we did this show. But clearly, after just a couple episodes, the facade dropped. Okay? I thought, she's doing the Upworthy show. It's not going to be like, oh, neurotic, cynical Allison, but no, she's there. So, I try to counteract that with some of my good vibes.
I would argue that if one person is coming off as a little bit cynical and unhinged right now, it's not me.
It comes out every Saturday, wherever you get podcasts.
Bye.
Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Allison Rosen is your new best friend. I am sitting here in my studio in person on a unseasonably cold Los Angeles day.
I love the meteorology parts of the show. That's my favorite.
It's people tune in
They love
for
it. Yeah.
the weather.
They don't get it on time, but it's still of interest, I think.
Here's the thing. They tune in for the weather.
I know.
They get an interview sometimes.
Did you ever consider being a meteorologist?
I never did.
You would make an awesome meteorologist.
Thank you, Joel
Yeah.
Stein, my guest today, repeat guest, who's a journalist and author and now a podcaster, because Lord knows we need more podcasts.
So sorry.
No,
Yeah.
don't apologize.
But
Are you apologizing
for entering
having...
the podcasting field?
Oh, yeah, you should apologize for that.
But no one was reading. I'd write articles, and getting someone to read an article was like asking them to read like an epic poem or something. Like it become too hard for people to read. So I now have this podcast where we save people from reading, right? Like it's called Story of the Week, and we take one of those long, fascinating stories from the New Yorker or the Atlantic that you meant to read but didn't, and we get the author on, and they just tell us the story.
It's a good idea, because like I have one of those apps that
Oh yeah, they read them to you?
I don't have one of those.
Autumn or okay, no.
I got to get one of those.
No, just do mine.
Just-
Yeah. I shouldn't have mentioned that.
What's it called?
Nothing.
Autumn,
Nothing.
you said?
Yeah.
Is that
No.
AUDM?
You
Do I get it at
you
the
seem
App
to know.
Store?
Yeah.
No, I have, I think I have Pocket, where I just
Another
like
one.
click.
Oh yeah, Pocket.
Yeah.
Where you save the story that you tell yourself you're going to read one day and then never
Yes.
read.
I feel like even
It's the
if
equivalent of your bathroom pile.
Yes, exactly. Which is so dusty, by the way.
The bathroom pile, or your Pocket app.
I mean, my Pocket app has virtual dust on it.
They should do that as they pile up and you haven't read them. They should put a little dust on them.
Yes, that
I should run everything.
you should run everything.
I know.
But anyway, no, all the piles of magazines in the bathroom had like a more than fine layer of dust. They had a thick layer of dust on them. But then my mother-in-law was in town recently, and she is like a human Roomba.
Oh,
She loves to clean. She loves to organize. And it sounds like that would be
not a Jew.
not a Jew.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But it also sounds like it would be like, well, do you want someone going through your stuff? And at the beginning I thought maybe not. But this many years into marriage and this many years into realizing like I'm very bad at all that stuff, I'm just like, yes, please. Have your way with our stuff. And she's like, do you want me to clean your bathroom? And I was like, sure.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I said, I've never let her before, but because I was sick, as you know,
you were either sick or faking sick every time that I was supposed to come over here.
This
for this.
podcast,
You had rubella?
I had
You had
mumps.
diphtheria? Yeah.
I had
Something you called the grip. I thought that meant just the flu, but I wasn't sure.
I was in the grips of the grip.
Yep.
I had
Whooping cough?
whooping cough.
Yeah.
I had
The clap, which I knew what that was.
the clap.
I didn't know why that prevented us from just doing a podcast.
I had crabs. I had soft shell crabs. I had sand dabs. I had Dover sole.
Now that people have less pubic hair, do they still get crabs, or is that really ignorant? It has nothing to do with that.
No, I think that's a great question.
Thank you.
Because isn't that something? Okay, like back in the day of I don't know which disease, didn't they have to shave you? Wait a minute. I'm getting all of my.
I think like for a hernia operation, for lots of operations, they would shave you.
But isn't that part of? We were having a casual discussion of persecution outside, as two people who are Jewish often do.
Because have you told your listeners about the arson on your street?
It was not on my street, but it was in Burbank.
Okay.
There's a bookstore called the Iliad, a used bookstore. Do you know this bookstore, Tony?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I actually haven't been there, but it's a very popular bookstore is it Burbank or North Hollywood?
That's a good question.
I think it might
be
technically be
North
North Hollywood. Yeah.
It's getting further.
I know.
As the story goes on, it's now going to be in Tel Aviv.
There was a arson there. It's more than attempted arson, but it didn't actually damage a lot. They were able to put it out quickly.
Like recently?
Yes. I know. It's weird that it didn't get a lot of news. Maybe because it didn't do a lot of damage. But yeah, and they like They threw an anti-Semitic pamphlet. It was like a anti-Semitic arson situation.
Also,
there.
kind of an idiot. Like if you're going to leave a message in a pamphlet,
don't set something on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have a different system for leaving a message.
Right. Maybe there's
a stone, right?
Yes.
If you're an arsonist.
You know, maybe the reason that it didn't get a lot of reporting is because there's something.
You made it up?
it's because I didn't call it into the right papers. No, I heard about it on Nextdoor.
Oh, boy.
No, but
yeah, that's trustworthy.
Wait, no, but also I swear like Andy Richter was posting about it. So you know it's real.
Your news sources are amazing.
I know. But anyway, no, I swear this is, Tony, will you look it up?
I first of all, the first headline I see, fire at Iliad Bookshop in
Not
North
made
Hollywood.
up.
So it does say in North Hollywood.
But does it also say...
Richter really hits all the facts right away.
Yeah.
But does it say not made up also?
Yeah, that's the spacing on the word.
What else does it say?
I'm looking. Every time I try to use your internet out here, it's very slow for me.
I know. It's bad.
Here we go. Well, don't sit and wait for me to read the whole thing. It's a whole article.
Okay, fine. What was I in the... Oh, yes, I know. Isn't that part of why everyone knows which they I'm talking about, right?
You're talking about the anti-Semites or the body shavers?
The most famous anti-Semitic body shavers.
Oh.
Why they would do that was because of lice and things like that.
Yes, that's true. But
right. So therefore, it would follow that getting rid of pubic hair would cut down on crabs.
That's what I would guess, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. What a great thing. We've solved an
we've
entire
reduced
disease.
It. Yes, we have.
Just by changing our sexual habits.
Yeah, but...
If that's the right phrase, yeah.
Well, here's a question then, and I don't know who can answer.
A question?
Hair's a question.
Nice.
And I don't know who can answer it because you've been married for a long time.
I have.
I'm not looking at a lot of vaginas.
Right.
And I've been married for a long time.
Both.
Tony.
Yeah. So I'm reading about the Iliad. What did I miss?
Okay, we want to know about ladies' bush habits. And
you came to the right place.
Joel and I don't know. Well, actually, but you're like a man and you're plugged into culture.
Right.
So I was saying that Joel might not know because he's been married for a while. I don't know because I'm not looking at vaginas and I've been married for a while. And so you're our source, even though you're
Are you
now
asking
in a relationship.
if people still have a lot of pubic hair?
What's going on pubic hair wise out there? Is it still pretty
it just depends
bald?
on the person.
Well, because Joel is mounting an argument that crabs are gone now that everyone's bald.
Eradicated. They're the smallpox of venereal diseases.
Except that means they're coming back because isn't smallpox back?
Yeah, well, here and there you'll see a crab.
Right. So here and there you'll see pubic hair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, is it still pretty shorn out there?
I don't think that changed. Yeah, I think that
for
was
me personally, it did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It came back?
Oh, yeah.
Full on?
We're talking 70s
Like
situation
cover
here.
of a Black Crowes album back?
Wow.
I mean,
Interesting.
sometimes
Okay.
I can't. Sometimes, let me just put it this way.
Do it.
When we go to Hawaii
Mm-hmm.
and I get into a bathing suit,
Right.
I have to go into the bathroom with a hedge trimmer and just get things tidied up.
Okay.
That's how insane I've allowed it to become.
So just Hawaii.
That's the only time I get into a bathing suit.
Okay.
I guess I could make that less of an obnoxious statement. Were I to get into a bathing suit, I would have to do a little bit of topiary trimming. Yeah, no. I am not proud of what happened.
No.
Allow me
What?
to explain.
Okay. There's no shame here. This is a,
I
it's a
feel
safe
shame.
zone. Yeah. Okay.
I feel shame.
Yeah.
Allow me to explain. It used to be manicured.
By professionals.
More like a self manicured situation.
This is like the 90s by the J Sisters.
Wait, who are the J Sisters?
I'm really these are old references. They were like the first Brazilian waxers like in Manhattan, and like the Sex and the City would reference them. They'd be in the New York
yes,
Times. Yeah.
yes. Okay, I was thinking of. Have you heard of the Stryker sisters? They do brows and other things.
No, I wonder if are they also Brazilian?
I don't think so.
So there are sisters all over the world, you're saying?
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Good to know.
Any family can have sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't, so I didn't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But so that means there's no one in your family that performs waxing?
Everyone's on their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we go to other sisters,
It's good.
We
That
outsource.
it's good that you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's open minded.
but mostly Brazilians.
Okay. So anyway, I would almost say, when like you give yourself, you might not actually know this, but it's like a famous trope. Like you try to give yourself a bang trim and then you like cut too much. Then you got to straighten it out and you cut too
Yeah.
much.
No, it's a comedy trope. Yeah.
Yeah. Before long, there's not much there. That was the situation I had been dealing with for years. And I was fine with it, but it probably was like,
You were going for a very certain look and you couldn't accomplish it?
well, no, I just mean it was like it was like a hint of, it was like, there was just barely anything.
A little
there.
stripe.
Yeah, but it was like,
But it was-
who are we kidding?
It was a zigzaggy kind of stripe.
It was like,
Barely a stripe. It was just
there was just like a tiny soul patch of nothing.
and it was just there to make you feel like I haven't taken it all off. I'm not a
Yeah,
child.
I'm not.
I'm an adult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
It's-
it was like so. It kept getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah. Like Hitlery?
No, I'm
Okay.
trying to think if there even was anything. That was like a tiny bit. So
Okay.
then, when I got pregnant, it became more and more difficult to maintain.
Do anything. Yeah.
And also, I felt like it grew back quicker, faster and faster.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And
Body hair in general or
well,
pregnancy's so weird.
my head hair I had the best head hair in my life.
During pregnancy.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
weird to describe it as head hair, but
No.
I feel like I need to explain.
Yeah, no, that's
I
what
had the best head of hair. I mean,
Nice.
it was so full and voluminous. So I think something was going on, but I wasn't noticing body hair elsewhere. It wasn't like, oh my God, my mustache is wild and crazy or anything. So mostly just my head hair and down my crotch was just like itchy. So
Oh, sure.
scratchy and itchy. Is that a Ren and Stimpy thing?
Itchy and
Itchy and Scratchy?
Itchy and Scratchy show is Simpsons.
Okay. So now I'm dating. Now it's the 9
It's still on.
yeah, okay. So then I thought, what am I doing? I'm going to give up this ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I did.
Is that a conversation one has with their partner? Or is that just it's your
no.
body, it's your right?
Mhm.
If we've learned one thing in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but this was longer ago than last year. I'm trying to remember if it was a conversation I had with Daniel. If I did, it wasn't for feedback. It was more of a like, this is what's happening.
Just some FYI.
Yeah. And then at that point, it just like, it's like giving up smoking.
Mm-hmm.
even though you're tempted to go back, you don't want to lose all the hard work.
Oh, you're proud of what you've accomplished there.
Well, it's just like there's just going to be so much itch all over again.
Oh,
a little bit.
Starting all over.
Kind of. And also a little bit after going through all that and having a baby, there's just a little bit of like, I am not going to do that, whatever that is, to my body again. Fuck all of you. I don't even know what that is.
I think I know what you're saying. Are you saying you've performed your reproductive function?
Yes.
And now you've moved on to other stages of life.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a fuck you between my legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I got pregnant again, I was ready to not be super itchy. Because I already had a grown-in.
Oh, so it worked out well. Your
Yeah.
plan worked. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have to go through growing it in and being itchy again.
you're already there.
I was already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now sometimes I'll catch sight of myself in the mirror and I think, I can't believe this is where I am.
Oh.
But I don't care. But
Right.
I've talked to other women.
Right.
I would almost say their names, but I feel like I shouldn't. They're also, I've talked to other female podcasters.
Cheryl Teagues.
I love her podcast.
She's so surprising, isn't it?
Yes, I know. She's
All science. Did not see that coming.
Neil deGrasse Tyson and Cheryl Teagues are who I turn to when I wonder about my place in the universe.
Yeah. Who's going to get to it first? Like if you're wondering about.
I know. I know. Shit's amazing. Yeah.
So these other women who are not Cheryl Teagues.
But and Cheryl Teagues.
Okay, both.
Yeah, when I talk to them, Bo Derek. They also are sporting the full 70s bush too.
Okay.
Yeah, for same reasons. In pregnancy, they just decided, I'm just going to let it come back.
Interesting.
I'm glad we're talking to you about your podcast, though.
Well, the extensive notes you've taken before I came on here are pretty amazing. And I hope we get to all of that. Alice, can I read what you've written on this? No! She has a notepad with my name on it, and then
Shamefully hit it.
about 5 words.
Okay.
And then it just trails off. Like she drool and then sleep. Is what happens.
I will let you read it.
Okay.
However, please know the notes are in my head.
But they're also on this paper.
One is
Let me see what it is. Okay. Has my name. And it says it's a whole sheet of paper that she's used for this. So many podcasts. Why yours?
it's a new pad.
That was going to drive you through this. It's a brand new pad. There's nothing else in this entire pad.
Yeah, I started a pad for you.
Is there other pads for other guests that I can compare to?
In the house.
But are they just like pages and pages of notes?
No, I don't always take notes.
Oh, so this is more than usual.
Yes.
Okay. Again, says Joel Stein, so many podcasts. Why yours?
Yeah. And
were you thinking this was going to be like a press conference? Like a Biden kind of thing where you maybe get one shot if they called on you and that was what you're going to go with? Inflation. So many podcasts. Why yours? Ukraine. This is your plan.
well, I just mean I think I already asked it.
No, I agree. I don't. I think there are too many podcasts. But people won't read, and I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And it was a really simple idea. It was just I get other people. It's lazy. I get other people to tell me their articles. Is basically all.
I didn't really mean. I meant it more in a friendly, joking way. I
asked myself the same question. I'm clearly the last person to have a podcast, at least in Los Angeles. So yeah, I had resisted for a while, and then they broke me.
They came to you.
Well, no, I pitched it to Pushkin, the Malcolm Gladwell.
The podcast culture broke you.
Yeah. It just became so hard to continue to write articles that didn't pay much and no one saw. And the people who come on my podcast are spending 6 months reporting this stuff out and getting paid very little, and they love it. And it's become like being a poet or something, being a magazine writer.
Long form journalist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's become something that you do in addition to having your, professor job, or you have some other way to make money almost at this point.
Is that what's going on with the people who've come on your show? Do they have other jobs?
That's a good question. Yeah, Reza Aslan. I feel like he is literally a professor and he makes TV shows. AJ Jacobs, does he have another job? He did a podcast for a while.
Yeah. Well, he writes books.
Writes books. Books are still kind of a thing. Yeah, I think it's a mix. Like some people are no, they all seem to have other jobs.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happened. Okay, so the podcast is called Story of the Week with Joel Stein.
Yeah, that's not in your notes. You just know that.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. The notes are up here. I keep the notes in my pubic hair.
And you have not had any experiences with the pubic lice, the crabs.
No, I haven't.
Okay,
I've been very lucky. But I'm not sleeping around either. I mean, maybe had.
Why are you winking? Is that at me? Are you just trying to tell me you're sleeping around? Or are you interested in me personally? Also, that's not how you wink. You went with both eyes? I am very interested in theme songs, and I know you are too. And I love your theme songs.
Thank you.
And they have a real, they have a 50s vibe, but they also have a real Paul Schaefer-y kind of attitude where the humor is like, I can't believe we're singing about this. Mm-hmm. I went a different route with my theme song.
I love your theme song.
I love my theme. That's the best thing about my show by far. It is the theme song. And we got Jonathan Colton to do it. Mm-hmm. And I asked him to do what Sherwood Schwartz did.
Nice.
The guy who created and wrote the theme songs for Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch, or something like Gary Shandling did for its Gary Shandling show, where the song does the work, or The Nanny, right? The song does the work of explaining the show, so I don't have to start every show by explaining what we're about to do. And I always loved theme songs, and I was kind of obsessed, and that's where we spent our budget.
I love that. So, did you write the lyrics, or did he?
No, Jonathan did it. I mean, we talked about it, but he just wrote them.
So tell us what the lyrics are. Or tell us.
Can you just play it? Or you don't do that here?
No, we should.
Because my singing voice is bad, and I'd be tempted to sing.
Yeah, let's play it. Tony.
I didn't mean to make you do something.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Without good internet, are you able to pull it up?
That's my concern.
I forgot that everything was done in real time.
That's okay.
My podcast takes forever. We interview someone for an hour and a half. This is a full-time job. I did not see this coming. We interview someone for way too long, and then there's all this time cutting it. We want, if the idea is you're not going to go read this, we're going to save you some time. We want it to be under 30. So we cut it down to 30. And in order to do that, because these stories are complicated, I have to pop in with all this VO to explain what's going on in the story. Because it turns out that writing is a really efficient medium, which I didn't see coming. So a really long story, you can't tell in a reasonable amount of time by talking.
Yeah.
So we have to really simplify these stories, which is a little bit of a bummer. Or I would have liked to do one of those Dak Shepard-y 2-hour long podcasts, but then the smart people at Pushkin were like, we will not do that. There's no financial model there.
Interesting. Yeah. Yes. I always wonder about the produced, edited podcast versus something like this.
Miserable.
I know that AJ Jacobs, I don't know if you guys talked about this at all. I know that his experience doing a podcast was that it was just a lot of work.
I'm in my closet all the time because that's where I do
your voiceover.
They say it sounds better in there.
Yes.
So I'm in my closet.
The clothes soak up the sound.
If I could just do it into your crotch, it would probably sound just as good. But
why are you winking at me?
But instead, I have my closet. And what I also didn't realize was that my seemingly liberal wife and 13-year-old son would see this as a huge opportunity to make incredibly homophobic jokes about me being in the closet all the time. It's really frustrating, and I am offended. Yeah.
What do you say to them when they do this?
I just disapproval.
Okay.
I just talk to them about their homophobia and where that comes from and what they're afraid of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't find that funny though.
So I have it ready, but I don't know is there a pre-roll ad by chance? So
I say we play it and then just cut it out afterwards.
Okay, here we go.
Writing is hard, who's got that kind of time? When you're already busy trying to be Joel Stein. So he turns on a mic, maybe twiddles a knob, calls a journalist friend who's got an actual job. Auditory, single story, just listen to smart people speak. Conversation filled with information, it's the story of the week.
AJ Jacobs, the nicest man.
I love it. And
Thank
you
you.
have it end with AJ Jacobs every week.
Yeah, that was Jonathan's choice, and like he's a genius. I'm not going to mess with him, but
Seems confusing.
It does seem confusing. But
Yeah.
how do you give someone a note on a song?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I just kept quiet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And was that the first version he handed you? And you're like, amazing.
Totally.
So
Yeah,
good.
and then back in the '90s, I had this failed cartoon VH1 show that only aired in like Canada and South Africa.
Uh-huh.
And the Fountains of Wayne did my theme song called Hey Joel. That was also really good. So I've had really good experiences with theme songs.
Wait, what was your cartoon show? And was it in the style of your Time magazine cartoons?
Sort of. It was a little different. So this guy, Robert Risco, worked for Vanity Fair, did the drawings, and Fountains of Wayne did 2 songs per episode. And the show wasn't great, but the song was great. Yeah. I'm really focused on theme songs more than any other content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like an auditory guy.
Now, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think
Is it because your eyesight's going?
it's partly because my eyesight's going. You've got the reading glasses.
I do, yes.
Yeah, what number? Like there's always a plus or
They're
a...
prescription.
No, they're not. Reading, what do you mean?
Well, so maybe they're not reading glasses. They're prescription glasses for...
You have like an astigmatism or something?
Well, I do have an astigmatism.
I didn't mean to say it
actually.
like that.
Yeah, excuse me. But that's not what they're not to correct that. They are...
Can I try them on?
Sure. They are...
I won't get crabs from this.
Well, I can't guarantee anything.
Oh. No, they're just... Oh, no, they're not just reading glasses, right?
They are...
Well, they are.
They're prescription reading glasses.
What does that mean?
It means
they're
that-
not... You go ahead. Sorry. Why am I so angry? Go ahead.
I don't know.
Please explain.
Jesus
Please explain.
Christ. You're reminding me of my husband right now in that when he doesn't understand something, he
yeah.
gets like frustrated and he's like, I'm not angry. When I can't understand something, it seems like I'm angry. And I'm like, I don't care. It feels like you're angry.
Angerosity.
Sure.
It's when you're curious and angry at the same time?
Yeah. This is like the hangry of...
That's what I'm trying for.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay.
Anyway,
I hear
allow
they're
me.
prescription reading glasses.
Good. They are, because I cannot read up close without some kind of lens.
Are you defining reading glasses?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's really
Well,
right in the phrase.
Yeah. The ones that I would buy at CVS do not work as well as ones that now I'm explaining a prescription. I think that one eye is a little bit different than the other. So it's a little bit stronger for
okay.
one eye. And maybe it's like more dialed in based on like focal point or I never needed glasses until I became ancient. So I don't know if it has to do with like specific to like my pupillary distance or retina something.
Yep, that's right.
or-
That's the science. You got that from the Cheryl
from
Keys
Cheryl.
podcast?
Cheryl, yeah, she did a whole episode on it.
Because generally, reading glasses are just magnifying glasses.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it has to do with one
Thanks.
needing more than
Okay.
the other, and maybe the
I can
astigmatism.
see it now looking at you.
Can you?
Yeah, the left one, right?
Is more what? I do have a little bit of a Rebecca De Mornay face. Rebecca De Mornay is what I was trying to say.
How so?
I feel like I'm a little bit. I know everyone's asymmetrical, but I feel like I'm a little more asymmetrical.
Oh,
than
no,
normal.
not at all.
Thank you.
No.
Well, now my kids didn't, but those helmets that make their heads perfectly round like melon ballers.
Wait, they're still doing the helmets? I thought that was like a fad.
They are still doing the fucking
Helmets are still big.
They're so big now.
Wow. Okay.
Both my kids were offered referrals for helmets.
And they're not cheap, the helmets, right?
No.
How much? They're not like bike helmets. How much are the helmets?
They're like a few thousand.
And why are they better than bike helmets? Because they shape your head? Wait,
yeah.
It's an aesthetic thing?
It's an aesthetic. So for anyone
They're like
who-
braces for the head?
it's exactly like that. And, okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about,
The helmet
flathead
is a
syndrome is
flathead
a
syndrome.
huge thing that you don't know about, and you don't become frightened about it until
I saw them in the 80s, and they rocked.
until you go shopping for your baby and you see a wall of items to prevent flathead syndrome, and you're like,
Wait, what
this?
store is this?
Bye Bye Baby.
Okay.
Or any baby store.
Which is BUI, baby?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. When we were little, we slept on our tummies because that is how you're supposed to put a baby down so they don't choke on their own vomit or something.
Oh,
and
the sudden in from death syndrome, or that's something else?
well, it is all like related to that.
Okay.
But then at a certain point, they realized actually it's unsafe to have kids sleeping on their tummies. They should be sleeping on their backs. And that the incidence of kids choking, like this idea that they're going to aspirate on their own,
Keith Moon style.
Yes, that doesn't happen.
Okay.
They should be sleeping on their backs. However, when they sleep on their backs, because their heads are soft, like their bones are not, their heads are pretty soft when they're born, it creates a flat back of the head. And so you have to like keep repositioning them and doing tummy time. And it's like a
Tummy time, yeah.
whole thing you have to do.
No, tummy time had a different purpose. That was, right?
It's to prevent flathead, but it's also to like get them to learn to hold their head up.
But according to what you're saying, go
ahead.
It's not just from you. It's you and Cheryl Teagues. From what the two of you were saying,
Yeah.
I was a child in the 70s when I'm sure you're saying we slept on our
Yes.
tummies.
Yeah.
Okay. And then someone moved us, the kids, to their backs.
Yeah.
And then their heads were flat for the rest of their lives.
Okay. I think it's all bullshit.
Oh, wow. This is
little
a
bit.
strong stance. Okay.
Oh, well, I think it's all bullshit, and yet I'm also saying that the reason I have a Rebecca De Mornay head and face might be because
Do you have a flat head?
No, I
Oh.
don't. But I don't have a perfectly symmetrical situation happening.
Is that it's related to flathead?
I don't know. It might be. So anyway, I don't know. So no, not flathead, but the helmet's also. Well, I don't think I don't have a flat head, but
It's hard to tell because of hair.
once the hair happens, you don't know anymore. So anyway,
I shaved my head and it was weird.
really?
Yeah. Like
What?
everyone thinks they have a real nice head under there. You don't.
Did you shave your head because of pubic lice?
I did. I was really going at it and they just wound up
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, so, anyway, babies oftentimes will have flat heads or they'll be like misshapen or whatever. And then you get a referral to get this cranial helmet, which perfectly shapes the baby's head. And they have to wear it like 23 hours a day, or that's Invisalign. It's something like 20, like
Okay.
most, except for when I think it is 23 hours a day. They get really stinky.
Huh.
People claim that the babies don't mind them, except it seems like it's probably uncomfortable. But like when the helmets come off, they have this perfectly round head.
Adorable.
Some people think it is kind of a crock. There was a study done that after some number of years, no one could tell who had helmets and who hadn't. I think it was probably a small study though, but I liked
can tell. I can totally tell.
You can tell. I liked that study because I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this with my kids. Sometimes insurance will pay for it. Sometimes it won't.
How flat does it have to be for insurance? Or it depends what kind of insurance you have.
For Owen, they would not pay for it.
Not flat enough?
No, it wasn't flat enough. Yeah.
Did you think about maybe flattening it a little bit?
I tried to close it in a door and it still would. They still wouldn't. So I think it would have been a few thousand.
I'm going to ask some very ignorant questions
Please.
because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it seems like messing with someone's head is bad. Like,
Our pediatrician was like, their
their heads are growing pretty fast. Like,
Yeah.
and their brains are in there. Technically, I think that's what Cheryl Teague said.
Yeah.
And therefore, would you really want to mess with like the things growing? I don't know. I'm not even. I've convinced myself out of wearing a helmet when I'm on a bike. This seems dangerous.
I mean, it's not constricting.
It's not that kind of helmet.
It's not.
What's the helmet for then? It's like braces, or is it so they don't bump
It's like
their head?
braces. No, it's not.
So it's shaping their bone.
It is shaping the
This
way.
is like what Chinese people used to do
Yeah,
to girls' feet,
It's
right?
not. Well, but it's not binding it. It's
Okay.
just like putting
I
a
feel
little.
like I'm this close to getting a cause.
It's like-
this might be the
I
thing I
know.
fight for.
It's like putting. You know what it is? It's when they sleep, they're putting pressure on like one side of the head. And so it's making it grow in like a funky way. And then when they get up, they have this like orb shaped head.
This is very confusing.
Probably the way I'm explaining it.
No,
is
I'm just
not
thinking
helping.
in the rest of the animal kingdom, they don't seem to have this problem.
When my dog wakes up, she often has a squished looking face.
Oh, did you
then it like
get a face helmet for that?
yes. So I think what it does is it like makes it so that when they sleep, I don't even know anymore.
But you got these helmets.
No, we didn't get the helmet.
You
Oh,
didn't?
no.
You thought about it, but the insurance wouldn't cover it.
No,
You're like, we don't love our child that much.
I was opposed to it from the beginning
Okay.
because it struck me as sort of like uncomfortable for the kid.
Yeah.
A pain for me to
Yeah.
have to drive.
Yeah.
And
you won't even
just-
shave your pubes. There's no way you're driving to
I'm
the helmet
lazy.
guy. Yeah.
But also it just struck me as like it feels in my soul like
Yeah.
it might be BS. Yeah. But it supposedly like it does correct. Like when I wear glasses or sunglasses, like they do sit a little higher on one side because of my asymmetry in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supposed to correct stuff like that.
When you put glasses on, they don't sit right?
Tiny bit off.
Like noticeably? Can you put your glasses back on?
To me, it is noticeable.
Oh, yeah, that's fucked up.
Do you see what I'm saying?
What is going on there?
It's a little bit off.
I think you just need to straighten your glasses.
Oh, see,
The
you see
arms
it.
of the glasses.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I can't tell. You look phenomenal. Glasses or no glasses.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can we go back to something? Because I did
Yeah.
cut you off at the beginning. You think would have been a good weather girl?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask on the helmet thing. We'll get back to the weather girl. Did you circumcise your children?
I do not share that information on the podcast.
That's not
but
yours. That's right. Good for you. That's theirs.
The reason I don't
Okay.
share that information is because my husband feels we should not share that information.
I think he's probably
I
right.
think he's right.
Yep.
If it were up to me, though,
No, let's move on.
I just want to explain
Okay.
how my instincts are
But
bad.
I feel like if we talk too long, you're going to spit it out. I'm nervous
No,
for you.
you're right.
Yeah, I just know you, and I think we should move on. Okay, why would you be a good meteorologist? I think you gotta bounce.
You're saving me from myself.
Yeah, someone has to. Yeah, I am like the moral helmet for you.
Oh my God, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I think you got a bouncy personality. You've got a bit of the look of the weather girl look. I think you'd look good in something spangly, right?
Thank you.
And you seem very interested in the weather. Like
What did I do?
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying that was not that was not an accusatory Tony. It was a Tony. Be my witness. I've been described as bouncy.
Hey, I'm here taking notes.
Is- Bouncy.
Well,
Because not everyone feels sometimes I'm bouncy, but sometimes I'm like a
yeah, you stop bouncing right there.
she's not bouncy to me. I know that.
Oh wow! Should we talk? Is that what this is about?
It's talked about quite.
Oh, I
often on
wasn't
the
even
show.
thinking about my abuse of you. I was just thinking. I was thinking more about like I could be like a wet blanket or like a limp
See,
noodle.
But
or
even
just a goth.
your metaphors are very weather related.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I never considered it.
Do you understand like what happens when like a cold front hits a mountain and
No.
but you're interested, aren't you?
I mean, not really, but
a high pressure system, does that do anything for you?
no, but but here's something.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived in New York, I did always put it on the Weather Channel.
You would actually watch the Weather Channel like an old person?
Did that not just come up with on our episode with Kurt Bradler?
Did it? I don't know.
Yes.
I immediately forget things now, so maybe.
This is such an excuse for not paying attention on that episode.
I sit and take notes.
I know. Well, clearly you didn't write that down. I'm bouncy. we were just talking about how old people watch the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would put it on the Weather Channel, and
For the tunes.
for just like it was just like that was like my fire in my TV, just Friends. But I just would like park it on that and just let it play.
Were there like news meteorologists that you liked a lot?
No, not really. It was just in the background. But I did
Okay.
also audition for a show on the Weather Channel. They flew me out to Georgia for one day.
I didn't know there were shows, first of all.
I don't know if they ever made
Was it a
this
game show?
No.
That's a good idea, though. I pitched that too. I've had 2 good ideas
Really?
sitting here. Yeah.
I don't know that they. Oh, wait, you would pitch that show.
I think the Weather Channel should have a game show.
Should have a show.
Yeah. So what was the show you were going to host?
I'm trying to
Come on.
remember. I don't know that they ever made it.
But what was the idea for a show on the Weather Channel?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Was it
I'm
a show in
blanking.
which you tell people the weather?
It was just the weather.
Yeah, that's you were trying out to be a
It was
meteorologist.
just the weather.
Yeah.
No, oh my gosh. It was like weather related stories.
Oh, like big, like they'd recap like great hurricanes of all time.
So I feel like it was probably like weather related pop culture stories, but maybe not pop culture.
What
I
would,
know
like
that
when Trump threw toilet paper at people in Puerto
No,
Rico?
I mean,
like
it was-
what's the?
this was
That's not pop culture.
it
What would be
was-
a pop culture weather story?
it was 12 years
Like
ago.
the movie Twister? I don't know what we're going for here.
I'm trying to remember because let me tell you my memories of it. I was sitting at like a high top table, 2 seats, and they rolled the teleprompter over and I was like it was like an extreme close up and I was like delivering it like to camera, like off the side of the table. That is my only memory of it. You know what? I can look in my emails.
This is recently.
No, I just don't ever clean out my emails.
And you think you kept the email from the Weather Channel?
Do you delete your emails?
I think I do delete my emails.
That's smart. Tony, do you delete your emails?
Depends. Sometimes I will when because I've been having the issue of Gmail getting kind of full lately. And so I'm going
Yeah.
back and cleaning it up. Yeah.
They broke me. I finally paid.
Did you?
Because the
I did
podcast, because I was
too.
sending these giant files.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really worked on me for years, though.
Yeah. It's been
broke
happening
me.
a lot lately
Yeah.
for me.
Let's see. So would it have been
I usually have
Turner?
close to 0 emails in my inbox.
Oh my God.
But I have files on the side that I shove them into.
By the way, just an FYI, Wikipedia says there are 4 main types of programs on the Weather Channel. Weather news
Can we
programs.
guess them? Wait.
Oh, sure.
Are they
Documentaries.
rain, snow, sleet, and hail?
Yep, nailed it.
I'm going to say it's like,
These answers are not exciting. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But it gives what I was more getting at was to tell you the specific specials that they've had that it mentions. Specials such as 100 biggest weather moments,
ooh,
top 100 weather moments, and Coast Guard HMS Bounty.
Well,
Oh,
that
that
sounds like a
sounds
show.
good.
That does sound
Yeah.
good.
oh my God. I really want to find this.
Well, HMS Bounty. I feel like every ship is called HMS Bounty. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
It's
I can't. There's nothing to click on for that one.
But it's
I was
not.
hoping
If it was
would be-
England, that would be like His Majesty's service. But in America, it must mean something.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Bounty always too.
Again,
That's
you
always
can- You can click on some of the other ones. You can't click on that one.
I don't know why you call a boat a bounty.
I'm not being a good host right now, but I really, really want to find
You're playing
this.
Candy Crush, is what's going on. Is that something?
I'm booking my next guest. Okay, let's see. Is Weather Channel Turner though, or is it?
It's owned by Byron Allen now. I know
That's
that.
right.
Really?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very, very wealthy.
This was prior to that. So let's see.
Yeah, that was only a few years ago, I think.
Was it Turner though? Does anyone know? I'm looking at you, at both you guys.
I'm looking at older
I know. You know,
stuff.
I've never been interested in the weather. I just assume it's going to be basically what it was the day before and dressed that way.
So then you're saying I should be a meteorologist, but then you wouldn't even tune in?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'd root for you. I think that would be, there's lots of things I don't tune in for.
I guess.
Like my friends who, I don't know, do theater.
You don't like any live
I
theater?
actually really like theater. I don't know. I just a cheap joke. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But it is annoying, especially in LA where people do theater and I don't know why, because there's so many good actors and writers here, but the theater quality in LA is not great compared to New York or Chicago or
Right.
London. It's,
Right.
I don't know what that's about.
So let's catch up. Okay. Well, no, I'm trying to let's organize my thoughts here. Okay.
You might want to use the pad.
Yes. Okay. Because we've truly canvassed The genital region.
We covered that.
Yeah, mine. We haven't talked about yours.
No,
Are we going to?
I don't think so. I mean,
Oh.
I don't think I was interested.
But I feel like for
Okay.
equal time.
All right,
Just
fine.
what kind of situation?
We're back on pubic hair, which is in
Yeah.
general my genitals.
Just pubic hair.
No one's listening anymore, by the way.
Just pubic hair.
Just an every so often trim in general of
I feel like that's standard.
standard.
So just standard.
Yeah,
Okay.
like nose hair, just
Yeah.
keeping things in check,
Tidy. Just a
Yeah.
tidying.
and not even that's going too far. Just keeping things from going crazy.
Okay. Got it. All right. Oh, did you know? And perhaps you do know because you now have I don't know if you're a columnist or you just do some writing for the AARP, I learned.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
I've written covers for that magazine.
Congratulations.
I interviewed George Clooney for the cover of AARP.
That's so cool.
And the interview started with him going, AARP, what's happened to your career, man?
Yours.
I should have said that. He struck me down so fast I didn't have time to think of that. But yeah, that's right.
That's cool that he knows your career.
I made him dinner at my house once for a Time magazine cover. I've written a couple stories about George Clooney.
Well, you and George go way back then.
Yeah, he came over to my house. I made dinner because there's the one thing I'd never seen in a celebrity profile was them coming to your house for dinner. And so he came, and at some point a beeping occurred in the house, and I decided to ignore it because George Clooney was over for dinner.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's the beeping? He's like, is it coming from your attic? I'm like, I don't know. I've never been in the attic. He's like, you've never been in the attic? I was a handyman for years.
Facts of life.
He may have been confusing his characters with his real life. That's a good point. No, I think he was a handyman in real life and on the Facts of Life. Probably how he got the job.
Yeah.
Not just by being handsome. And he made me go under my house, and we got this big ladder, and he drunkenly went into my attic with a flashlight in his mouth like a real man. And I never went in the attic again. I just called it the Clooney attic. And
Wow.
then he couldn't find anything, and he sat back down. We were eating, and he realized it was from under the table. There was one of those
A carbon monoxide.
carbon monoxide was running out of batteries, and it just happened to go off when Clooney was there. So
But it was under the table?
you know the ones you plug in the wall? This is a while ago.
I didn't know that there were ones you plug in the wall, but that's good they have those.
I don't live this fancy life that you live.
Where we have ones that are attached to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, now they do seem to be part of the fire, the
Code.
smoke alarm,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. That's
This
what
is
ours
before
are.
that.
Yeah.
But yes, you've written for the AARP too, is where we're getting to.
No.
Oh.
That wasn't what I was going to say. What
Oh.
I was going to say is now, did you know that they recommend colonoscopies starting at age 45?
I had a colonoscopy. Have you had one?
No, I have not had one.
Oh my.
Oh boy. What is that foreboding? Oh my.
It's a thing.
Well, I just feel like if you're going to lower the age from 50 to 45, maybe make a little more noise about it. I feel
Well,
like they're gatekeeping
okay,
that
here's-
information. They're not, or maybe I'm not talking to the right people because my doctor said it in this offhand way. And I was
Yeah.
like, why am I only hearing about this now?
Well, there's a lot of
What's going on?
there's a lot of conflicting
Okay.
discussions right now in the colonoscopy community.
And you know this
So-
because you write for AARP or just because.
It's mostly the Teagues podcast where I'm getting
Okay.
this info from.
Okay.
And so, yes, they've lowered the age. It's very important because they'll find things. However, like many medical things where they check things,
Then they find things.
they don't know
Oh.
if it's necessarily always good to check so often. So there's
Right.
some disagreement in the
I see.
medical community, as
Like-
there is with all of these kind of
Screenings.
screenings. Yeah.
Got it. Maybe because they're doing the screenings, they're finding things, and then that pushes their hand to have to do things.
There you go.
But ultimately, it
Shouldn't
wasn't necessary.
Yeah. I mean, we're past, the days when they're checking to balance your humors and killing. It wasn't that
Right.
long ago that doctors killed as many people as they helped, right? But we've gotten much further, but we're still not at the Star Trek thing where they just put a scanner over you and figure out what's
Yeah.
wrong. So there's a little dance there between, yes, they backed up the age because they're finding colon cancer is younger now, either because they didn't know before or because we're eating like crap, don't know. But also maybe too much intervention. So I don't know. I'm not capable of telling your listeners when they should get, but I did have one. And
How was it?
have you ever heard Steve Martin talk about So Steve Martin used to get together with Martin Short, Tom Hanks, and a fourth friend who wasn't famous. So let's pretend he's not even there.
To me, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. And they would get their colonoscopy scheduled together and get together the day before to hang out, play poker, etc. Now, the thing is, the day before, the colonoscopy is nothing. They give you the Michael Jackson drug, and
I'm looking forward to the drugs.
people love that particular Propanol. Is that
Propofol.
Propofol?
Yeah.
That's hard to say.
Propofol.
Yeah. Oh, but you said it really well.
Well, yes.
You've taken some Propofol.
I've had Propofol, but my personal favorite is Versed. Excuse me, Versed, which I believe they also give you. And that one.
That sounds like just a lovely vacation spot in France.
Yes.
Versed? There's a drug?
Yes. It's also called Midazolam.
That's better.
Yeah, that's its.
The other one didn't sound like a drug, Versed.
Versed is the brand name.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They always have names like the other thing. You said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
That was great.
Yes, it's
Diazeprine?
I was going to say diazepam, but that's
Diazepam.
No, diazepam is
Pam?
Pam.
I don't know anything about drugs.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Nerd alert. Diazepam is Valium, I believe. That's not what I meant to say. Oh my God.
I know that one, Valium.
What's the
from
name
the Lou
of-
Reed song?
What's the name of the class of drugs that like
Opioids?
Xanax is in? No.
Oh, it's the other one. The dangerous one.
Yeah.
They're all dangerous.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't believe I'm having a big brain fart on this.
It's a scourge. I've heard people talk about it.
Yeah.
And it messes with
Anyway.
your dopamine, right? No?
Well, I don't know. Perhaps. But anyway.
Permanently.
But Versed is, it totally relaxes you and makes you forget the procedure. And it's like used in office IV sedation. And so I did IVF and they use that in the egg retrievals and things like that, along with little propofol. And it's like the most relaxed, best feeling I've ever had in my life. So that's the one I look forward to. And my understanding is they use that one as well in colonoscopies.
I think I got the Michael Jackson one.
That's propofol, yeah.
Propofol.
Did you feel relaxed or was it just like they turned your lights out?
Well, it's the
and then
only
turned it back
time.
on?
No, I'm sorry. I've been put out twice.
Mm-hmm.
I was so scared the first time. The whole idea of it just freaked me out, like really kind of more tense than I thought I'd be. And I got there and they put it in your arm and I was really freaked out. And the guy's like, count down from 10. And I got to like 9.
Yeah.
And then you just wake up. And the rest of my week was not good after they knocked me out for that time.
Oh.
Because I was just, I don't do well with those kind of drugs. And I just,
Do you feel nauseated?
yeah, juice stomach and like also just like kind of out of it. And I did not like that feeling. But the propofol, I guess it depends how much they give you for this stuff. So I guess they didn't give you that much because they just put a camera up your butt. It doesn't take very long, I think. And then I woke up and I ate lunch. I was fine. So it was no big deal. So the operation itself is quick and no big deal.
Yeah.
And you can watch the footage if you want. Very entertaining. But the prep, you've heard, you know.
Yeah, it's a bunch of laxatives, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
I mean, you drink a lot of laxative stuff.
It's like nothing you've ever experienced.
Oh. What are we
Yeah.
talking?
Well, they now have pills, which is why they no longer, Tom Hanks group no longer gets together. But they used to have to drink. I drank this incredible liquid, which was basically mining salts that they put some like purple sugar into. So it's like the worst Gatorade of your life. You have to drink tons of it.
Ugh.
It's not great. It's quite unpleasant, but it's what it does to your body that is so unbelievable. Like it's nothing like you've ever experienced. Like your what does Cheryl Teagues call it?
System. Your gastric system?
Gastroenterology.
What does Cheryl Teagues call it?
Anyway, your insides just
Turn inside out?
yeah, but not in a way that you feel or have control over.
Okay.
They just
Dump?
They just have been sent into this spasm that you don't feel because you don't have any nerve endings in there, and they're just doing their own thing, and you're not even aware. Like you'll just go to the toilet. You're like, I don't even think I'm going to the bathroom right now, and your whole insides come out. You're like, what? I didn't even like.
Well,
it's
if you don't feel it, that sounds good.
but the lack of
Control.
yeah, it's just like you're basically spending a day within a couple of feet of a toilet.
That doesn't sound so good.
It's not. It's the shock of it.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, I didn't know that one's body could just do its own thing. That have nothing to do with your mind at all.
Do you know when it's happening though? Like you're aware you need to get
you're
your-
where you need to, but then you're not. Yeah, at some point it's just like,
Doesn't it begin to get uncomfortable? Or no?
what kind of uncomfortable? It's uncomfortable. Yeah. Which kind of uncomfortable?
Like crampy and
No.
does your butt start to hurt?
No, because there's no friction. Because it's just
Liquid.
It's all liquid. Yeah. It's just dramatic. It's like, oh, I've had all the things. I've had constipation. I've had diarrhea. I know the range. This is outside the range.
Otherworldly
Yeah.
diarrhea.
It's just like knowledge about what your body can do that you didn't. It's like a trick's been played on your body that you didn't know could be played on it.
Huh.
Anyway, you'll do that.
But they didn't find anything for you.
They always find something. Yeah, they found some stuff. They carved out some stuff, and they tell you to come back like 2 weeks later for another one. This is like my AARP podcast.
Yes. And how did you start writing for AARP?
When do you start taking the money out of the 401k? Is that the next question?
How did you start writing for AARP? For the Arrow?
AARP has an editor, Bob Love, who...
Wait, why do I know that name?
Yeah, that's why. Because he is a great magazine editor. But he ran Men's Journal for a while. He ran like either Esquire or GQ. I don't know. But he's just a magazine editor that's been around for a long time. So he became the editor. He hired a bunch of other editors you've worked with before. And one of them called me.
That's so cool.
Is that so cool?
That's so cool.
This is why you can be a meteorologist. You can react to the information that elderly people are now working for the AARP.
So cool. I don't think
The second biggest magazine in the country.
Is that true?
After Costco Connection.
Oh, really?
100% true.
Where does Westways rate?
Way up there. That's the AAA magazine.
Yeah.
Or the Western version of the AAA magazine.
Oh, I wonder what they call it.
I don't know. Eastways?
Yeah.
Southways?
Have you written for any in-flight magazines?
Yes.
Because every time I take a flight, which is not that often anymore, I'm always like...
They're going away.
Really?
One of the major ones already got rid of theirs. The other ones will soon. Yeah. So what happened was I finished my first book, Man-Made, A Stupid Quest for Masculinity. And I had not... I was like, I need to go on vacation with my family. So I cold emailed 2 in-flight magazines. I was like, do you want to just send me somewhere? And they both said yes. And I went to Panama for like the American one with my family. Your
email was probably more fleshed out than that, right?
It really wasn't.
It was just, I'm Joel Stein. Do you want to send me somewhere?
Yeah, it was desperate. And they were like, sure. I was like, what? Yeah, I was very surprised.
Did you include links to your work at least?
I don't know. Probably. I
Probably.
don't know. That wouldn't have worked. I don't know. I don't remember how I pulled it off, but they just sent me to Panama.
That's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done more of that.
Yeah, because, well...
I got a magazine to pay for my honeymoon. To the Maldives.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Which magazine?
I don't think they ran the story ever.
Oh, wow.
Elle, I think it was.
I need to do more pitching.
No.
Any.
You
I
need a
don't do
time machine to go back to the 90s
I know.
and then do some pitching. No, you don't want to do this now.
How much do this is interesting conversation for one person, and that person is me. How much I'm not asking about AARP, but like, how much per word do magazines pay at this point?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
God,
do they even?
Most magazines, I used to make so much. Most magazines used to pay me $4 a word,
Like-
which was more than most people got, but
Yeah.
not as much as some other people. But
No, but $4 a
$4
word,
was
that's like
amazing.
Sex in the City plot point.
yeah, it was
About.
good. Now it's nothing like that. Now it's somewhere between 1 and 2.
No, I'm not asking what you get paid. I'm saying like, well, if you're making 1 or 2 a word, that's actually like decent.
But
That's still like not.
doesn't keep the lifestyle
No.
up. And there's less of it too. It pays like a third or less,
Yeah.
and there's less of it.
Right. Sorry, I just to be clear, I was not trying to ask you what you're getting paid
I'm not-
per word. I was asking.
It's so funny to me that like the American culture is like, we can't talk about
I
money.
know.
Let's talk about our pubes. It's like, money is so uncomfortable for people. I don't get it because I don't like have any association with what I've been paid and my value, not as a
Yeah.
person, but just as to society. Like I've seen no correlation between people's success and their money.
Yeah.
Like I've done I've done things that I thought were successful and didn't get paid much for. And I've done things that someone lost a ton of money for me, like some network, and I got paid a ton of money, and I know I didn't deliver any value. So I just don't feel like, I mean, the music industry is where I first learned this. There was like some Entertainment Weekly story about some band I loved, like the Jayhawks or something. And it was about how they had $0. And yeah, I just find in life, there seems to be no correlation.
Yeah. That's a lesson you would probably want to pass down to your son, Joel. This holiday season, I want to give a gift to my loved ones that make them feel special and unique, just like the relationship we share. That's why I'm giving everyone I care about Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It's a thoughtful and meaningful gift that connects you to those who matter most. Every week, Storyworth emails your relative or friend a thought-provoking question of your choice from their vast pool of possible options. Each unique prompt asks questions you've never thought to ask, like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done in your life? Or, Joel, do you think that money correlates to value as a person? Or like, what was it like having George Clooney over? Well, that's like a more specific one probably, but you get what I'm saying. After 1 year, Storyworth will compile all your loved ones' stories, including photos, into a beautiful keepsake book you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. I gave this to my dad. I thought that I knew every single story that my dad had told, because my dad is like a raconteur, and like I said, I thought I knew every single story of my dad's, because I thought that my dad's the kind of guy where it's like when someone new comes in, it's like, oh, hey, fresh, new audience for your stories and your jokes and all this. But so it was amazing via Storyworth to hear stories that I had never heard before and to learn things about him that I didn't know. And then I loved that, like, I have this beautiful book to treasure and pass down. With Storyworth, I am giving those I love most a thoughtful personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/bestfriend and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/bestfriend to save $10 on your first purchase. Okay. I feel like we have not fully, I think it's good this far into a podcast to introduce my guest. Time Out New York, where I used to work as well, but we didn't know each other then. Time Magazine, where you had a weekly column that was so funny and so good. I loved it. My sister and I used to read it all the time. And then I forget if I mentioned this to you one of the times I had you on the show. We were in Las Vegas at what hotel starts with M?
Mandalay Bay.
That's MGM.
The other, is the Mandalay Bay the one that also has like a
Four Seasons in it?
Boutique? No, like the M hotel. Is there an M hotel in the Mandalay Bay? It may have been the Mandalay Bay.
They have a boutique hotel in the front that's called something else.
Well, wait, were you ever at the Mandalay Bay? Like,
for sure,
15 years ago?
Yeah, I used to stay in the very hotel you're describing, which is the one attached to the Mandalay Bay in the front.
Then yes, we saw you there, and you were like a celebrity to us because we read your column every. Yeah, I wasn't.
Was I with a hooker?
I think you were by yourself.
Oh, that's sadder.
Just walking by.
Okay.
Yeah. Our mom was competing in like a poker tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is she a very good poker player?
In like an amateur way, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she doesn't. It's not like she does this all. She doesn't do celebrity poker tournaments or anything like that. But like, she's like surprisingly good.
Wait, is she a celebrity?
No.
Okay, that would be weird. You don't even know what the word celebrity means anymore. You just throw it around. That was weird.
In my mind, celebrity poker tournaments also have regular people in them. Is that not the case?
Maybe, but they probably have
I guess what I mean to say is
tournament.
That's what I mean. Yeah, she doesn't do that. But for some reason, she was doing a poker tournament
Playboy
there.
staked me once on one of the World Series of Poker tournaments.
Oh.
So I played in one of those.
How was that?
It was on a cruise. So it was also involved being on a cruise. It was really fun. And I did exactly how you think someone who's not very good would do, which is I made it halfway through.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't good enough to like take the risks. And but I'm more interested in you seeing me.
So anyway, we saw you and we were like, oh my God, that's Joel Stein. Because we were both such fans of your column.
That's such an exciting thing for me just thinking about that.
Yeah, we were such fans of your column.
Right now.
We were such fans of your column. And then when I found out that you had worked for Time Out New York and I worked there,
Before
I was
you
so
were there.
excited.
Yeah.
And then this I know we've gone through though, because I know. somehow we connected because I had you on my silly Daily Allison talk show that I did when I was in New York. Maybe because I met you at that thing in LA at the Grove. Had I already had you on my show in New York?
What was the thing at the Grove?
There was something where like entertainment-y people meet up at the Grove.
Oh, my friend Pete Hike's thing.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, at night.
Yes.
Yeah. At the farmer's market.
Yes. But I remember
was-
meeting you there and you saying, I feel like you live in New York. And I was like, yes, I do.
Yeah. That's my way of saying you look like a Jew.
No, but we had already met.
Yeah.
So I must
New
have
York,
already
yeah.
had you on my Daily Allison show.
Where would that have been physically?
It was over iMessage or something like that. It was like a video thing.
Oh.
I was doing that. I invented that. I invented Zoom. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm so sorry that my ego is so desperate, but
You need more details?
The odds, I just don't know what it would be like seeing me and being excited. Like I'm trying to figure out
Okay.
how that plays out. Like
Okay,
you
so-
say to your sister, I think that's the Time magazine guy.
Yeah. No, we were like, that's Joel Stein. Oh my God, that's Joel Stein. That's what it was
And
like.
then you move on to that's it, right? You're like, it's not like, should we talk to him? Or like, why does he look like that? Or he's so short.
We
or,
knew what you looked like
Okay.
because didn't you have a website?
Everyone has a website. That's a weird question.
Well, in my mind,
Were you the guy who had the website?
Right. But I mean, in my mind, this is so long ago. But
Right.
no, I guess this
I had
is-
the first website.
I guess this makes sense that you would have it. And it wasn't even one that like played MIDI music or anything. When you,
No, I wouldn't know how
yeah,
to do that. Yeah.
it was like a counter that went up
Oh.
when you logged on. Like you're the 111th person. Right. So you had a website. We knew what you looked like,
Okay.
and we thought you were so funny. Yeah, and we were just like very excited that we saw you. No, we didn't consider talking to you
No.
or anything because you were a celebrity and we were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a couple of dorky girls.
I would have thrown something in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were
The first
doing
time someone
busy
walked up to
journalism
me,
stuff.
I was pretty new to Time Magazine. I had this column, and I was at a Whole Foods near my house or my apartment in Manhattan, and someone walked up to me and said she liked my writing. And I remember exactly where I was. It was in that fruit section near the buying bananas. And I kept her there so long that she was just trying to get away, right? Much like Clooney in my house, because my wife, he stayed so long, my wife was trying to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. She's the only person ever trying to get rid of George Clooney.
my
She started washing dishes. he did not get the hint because like no one's ever done that to him before in his whole life. But yes, I kept this one at the banana stand. No, there's no pun here. But for a very long time because I was just so excited.
Yeah.
Much like this conversation.
Yeah. Have you ever asked a fan if they want a picture?
Was that a pube you just took out of your mouth? You had a long hair you just pulled out of your mouth.
I felt like there was something in my mouth, but nothing came out. Okay. I don't think it did, at least.
Just unraveled for a long time. So I figured that's what it was.
I don't think there was anything actually in my mouth.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
So
This is why you didn't talk to me at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, there might have been. So anyway, but when I'm trying to remember how.
I was standing on that very Mandalay Bay, perhaps that same hour, when the Chris Harrison, is that the guy who hosted
Bachelor?
The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Came up to me in that very little small area because the TV channel E at some point asked if I would host something and he would produce it. So we had a bunch of meetings with E and stuff. And at some point, we get comfortable enough with each other. And I was like, this is insane. Like, clearly you should be hosting and I should be producing. He's like, yeah. It's like E had messed up the whole idea of like, he's the brains and he's
Right.
the body. Yeah, it was like a Freaky Friday situation.
Did you end up doing it?
No, they never bought anything.
Oh.
But we had a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
I mostly go to meetings.
So wait, sorry. What were you at the Mandalay Bay for?
I used to
Then?
I used to do a lot of writing. People kept sending me to Vegas to write stories. I wrote 2 covers for Time Magazine on Vegas. And then I guess that gave me the cred to start writing a bunch of other stories. And I really like Vegas. So I wound up just going to Vegas a lot. And my one celebrity friend lived in Vegas. It was Robert Goulet. So I hang out with Robert Goulet at his house and like go to dinner and then report in Vegas.
How fun.
Yeah, it was.
So you did all the Time stuff. And then you wrote the book that you mentioned.
I wrote 2 books, yeah.
and then In Defense of Elitism.
Yep.
Which I had you on in January
Yes.
of 2020 or February,
Thank you.
right before the pandemic.
Yep.
And In Defense of Elitism, which I loved that book.
Oh, thank you.
You were talking about how, I mean, this is a few years ago now, but like how popular, this is about to get a little bit heady real fast, and then we'll go into other stuff. Populism is like potentially going to dismantle democracy, has it?
No, it hasn't yet, but I'm still scared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we're in a better place or worse place than we were?
Ooh, much better place. I mean, than we were
Yeah, I
during the
guess
Trump
so.
presidency.
I guess so.
As far
I
as democracy is concerned. Yeah, I feel,
time is confusing to me.
I definitely feel, at least in America, the fear dissipating a little bit. But, it's certainly still there.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like there's been some rejection of that. Although the way people reacted to January 6th was very surprising.
Just being pretty okay with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. That surprised me.
It is surprising.
Yeah, because it looked bad on TV at least. I'm sure if you were there, it was fine.
Fun even. And also the way that the Paul Pelosi thing is kind of not really being talked about right now. And
I hate the fact, and this can get back to the arson thing. I hate the fact that like, if someone is murdered, it's a huge deal. But if someone just is incompetent at murdering, no one cares.
Yeah.
Like someone tried to kill Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
Like that seems,
and it's not even really being reported that way.
no one. It's just jokes on Fox News about it. And I was
Yeah.
like, this seems like
right. Why is it not being
like once
called
you
an
start having your
assassination
leaders
attempt?
become assassinated, things get really unstable real fast. I think
Yeah.
people don't in America, which isn't that old. We're like 3 Bidens old,
Mm-hmm.
right? People don't appreciate like the fact that lots of countries become unstable real fast, and that could happen here. And what does that look like as far as just living your life and getting stuff done? Because it becomes difficult.
Yeah. Agreed.
And if someone's going to come to a hammer, and I'm not a partisan on this, like the way Ted Cruz has been attacked and treated scares me too. Like the way people protested outside of Eric Garcetti's house and threatened him with his wife and his kid there because he wasn't defunding the police. Like, who's going to run for office? Like, just crazy people at this point. Like, would you do it? I wouldn't. I never thought I'd run for office, but I used to like think that was a noble thing to do or a reasonable thing to do. Now I think it seems just the worst.
Kind of thankless.
But
Well, man.
scary even,
yeah.
right? Like I think about like if I were Ron DeSantis and I was like, I'm going to run against Donald Trump, I'm sort of putting my life on the line. Like once Trump starts coming after me, there's no telling like what his followers will go do. I don't feel like that's safe at all.
Mm-mm. Although Ron DeSantis' followers
Maybe they'll
aren't
get violent
they pretty
too.
similar?
I don't know if he'd sick people on people the same way that
Yeah.
Trump. Maybe he will. I don't know what anyone's capable of. Every so often, my wife will like ask me, like, "Do you think Trump's going to?" And I'll just stop her. I'm like, I don't know what goes on in that guy's head. Like, I have no clue. He could do
she
anything.
should come over here and ask Daniel a question because I should bite my tongue.
Why?
Because I'm saying I should bite my tongue because I'll ask. This is
Are you going to talk about your kid's circumcision by accident again?
No.
Okay, good.
I will. I wish this just sounds like I'm bitching about my husband, but
Do it.
how
That's what we do here.
bitch about my husband.
Isn't that the title?
Sometimes I'll ask a political question because he's much more plugged into politics than I am. Sometimes I will want to ask a political question of him and I'll just want like a bite-sized answer. Like, could this happen? And I just want a short yes or no. And then it just, the answer becomes so long and so detailed with a lot of chunks of answer that have details that I don't, with references that I don't understand and I don't know. And like to try to tease that out is like, it's just like at this point, I'm like, it's like when you're in the bottom of Wikipedia and you're clicking on links and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like I'm 4 hours in at this point.
Like that conversation about flathead syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
But boring. Like that, but if it were boring. And it's just so it makes me like not want to ask.
Do you want to ask me?
But I don't know what my question is at this point. But I'm saying
just call me. You don't have to do it right now.
Okay.
I didn't mean right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes. So I'm saying if she would like the answer, but she won't get it in a succinct way, she should ask my husband because he would never. He would never say I don't know.
Oh, she might like that. Well, this would be a weird wife swap kind of thing.
Yes, this is a political. Oh my god,
political
this is such
question
a
wife swap.
wonky.
Let's pitch this.
Yes.
Yeah. This will be a podcast.
To whom though? To whom is this interesting?
With the Crooked Media Network.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll hit them up with this fascinating
Have
podcast.
you done any of their podcasts?
Like
Been a guest on?
No.
I feel like we should be on Love It or Leave It. They should have us on.
Yeah.
Someone make that happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Done. It's done. Okay. Of all the stories you've had on your show, all the guests and stories. Oh, I was going to ask which is your favorite. You can't choose a favorite.
We're only 5 or 6 in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? How many have you recorded?
I did. I'll pick a favorite. I don't care.
Oh,
we did one. I think episode 4 was this guy who wrote a story for Wired magazine, in which
LARPing.
Yes. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't hear
Not the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
It's so obvious on my face.
Well, when you interrupted your own I think I got it from that. I'm a professional reporter. So the story is about this thing called Nordic larping. So larping, as we know it, is you dress up like an elf and go in the woods and hit people with foam swords and stuff.
Right.
In the Scandinavian countries, they're super into LARPing, and they do messed up LARPs. Like there's a gang rape LARP, there's a post-nuclear apocalypse LARP, and they take it really seriously. And there's like some kind of secondary school that focuses on LARPing as their theme. And there's government money for LARPing, I think. There's government money for everything, so that's not
secondary
much
school is like high school.
That's the thing. I thought it was a high school, but I think it's like some post-high school thing. I don't know. I was hoping you wouldn't
like
push me on the details.
Okay.
It's not quite a college. I couldn't get it.
Okay.
Let's call it a high school.
Sure.
I'm going to feel better that way. And this guy went to a gay conversion camp, LARP, and he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just doing it because he was in Norway anyway, and he just wanted to LARP. And it was 4 days of pretending you were at a gay conversion camp. And he they gave him a character, and he had to act it out. It messed him up. It was crazy.
Yeah. It's interesting that he would choose to do that.
He was a little cavalier about it. Like he writes about games and religion and stuff. And so he was just like, oh, I've always wanted Nordic LARP. I'm going to be in Denmark. I'll sign up for this one.
Right. But I mean, it's weird that he would choose that one.
It was weird he wound up with the gay conversion one, and he is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he had very supportive parents, it turns out. But it still
good.
messed him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever LARPed?
No, I was a big Dungeons and Dragons player as a kid, but when I heard about LARPing, I was like, this is too nerdy even for me.
Right. Interesting. Okay. And then I am curious, of all the stories you've written, do you have a favorite?
Everyone asked me that, and so I should make up some answer, right?
Yeah.
And I should pick one that people will think is crazy, right?
Well, I can change the question.
Yeah, sorry.
No. What one was the hardest?
You know, the longer something is, the more it requires structure. So like books are way harder than articles. Cover stories are way harder than columns. I've written a movie that was way harder than writing like a sitcom. Just the story structure is hard for me. So that's where I run into challenges. The hardest. The most fun challenge I ever had was like I had to show up early in the morning after the New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Day of 2000, and I had to write this cover for Time on the year 2000, and I had walked in. There was like 10,000 pages from every bureau. Time made every bureau file, so I would walk in, like consume all this information. I had sent someone on a plane at midnight because everyone thought planes were going to fall from the sky, and I sent someone to be in a bunker with people who had like collected millet for a year with their family as Y2K went by and didn't happen. So I had like 3 hours to like take all this information and turn it into an article. And that I don't know. I like that kind of challenge of writing.
That sounds so stressful.
Yeah, but not. It's a different kind of stress. Like when you write a book or a movie, the anxiety of not knowing if it's good
Right.
and all the options. Like the stress of just typing fast, I greatly prefer. It's like I know the task, I know my limitations. It's like a haiku. It's like I can only do so much, and I'm going to see what I can do.
What would you do with millet?
I asked them that question.
It's because I just think of like bird seed.
Yeah, no, we have a little millet in our house. It's like it's like quinoa or one of those things. You're like, I should eat that. Yeah.
I just remembered that I have segments on my show. We gotta move.
We gotta move. I got.
Do you need to be somewhere right now?
No, I need to leave in like 10, 15 minutes.
No, but that's totally doable.
All right.
We have a segment called Just Me or Everyone.
It's just you.
Do you happen to have a Just Me or Everyone?
I thought about this.
Okay, good, because we have a song.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay,
Yes.
so you're watching pornography, and
What is it with you?
what are you talking about? I barely started.
Well, I know, but I just feel like
I feel like it's just me, or is it everyone? It's a safe space, and you're supposed to say something that's very real, that you're wondering if it's just you, and you attacked me. I got halfway through, not even, and you went right after me, like full dog fangs right out at me. The incisors came out. You were waiting. Didn't matter what I said, you were going to attack me. What is it with you? Is that what you went with? My God. Have you done this to other guests? They're like, is it just me, or when I take my meds? What is with you? Taking meds. This is the whole point of this segment, is to attack people. Clearly, they reveal something. That's not how therapy works.
I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I am so sorry.
Let's move on to the next segment.
No, I'm so
You blew
sorry.
it.
No, I'm so sorry. That was uncalled for, and it was unfair. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I don't feel safe.
I think it's something for me to talk about in therapy.
Yeah.
Please continue. I promise I will be very kind.
After you murder a man and the body starts to decompose, and you're not sure what to do with it. You've used the lye, you've used all the chemicals, and still those stains. No. So I was thinking, is it me or is it everyone that you watch some adult entertainment? Is that better?
But you.
And you're
Please.
finished. You're finished, and then you hormonally change, and you're in a different mindset at that point, and you have this incredible guilt about the fact that you didn't pay for it, and all these people worked so hard, and you haven't given them any money. Is that me or is that everybody?
Oh, interesting. So an economic guilt sets in.
Yeah,
It's definitely not just you. I know that because I know that
you're
they're
so
literally,
supportive. You're such a warm, supportive, kind person.
By the way, I never even introduced you, Tony.
We all
I'm
know
used
who
to it.
Tony is.
Hi,
He's
Tony.
the warm one. The one who makes people feel okay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks. Good to be here. Great to be here. I think it's a new record, by the way.
I know. It really is.
No, I know that like ethical porn is a thing for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
But beforehand, I don't feel like I want to pay for it.
Right. Of course.
It's like the opposite of dinner out at a restaurant.
Wait, what makes porn? What's ethical porn?
Well, I think that's like maybe I'm mixing it up here, but I thought like it is like making sure people are getting paid, like they are like charging for it, and then and I think they're
Fair
like,
trade porn.
Yeah, and I think the like treatment of the
Right.
Yeah.
is better.
Got it.
I don't know if I want that.
Right, like we were talking about a term that I was not familiar with: ethical non-monogamy, ENM.
It's called divorce.
Okay, so what you're saying is you feel the guilt that these people that these people performed for you.
Yeah.
But you're talking about just like on a moving on moving images. Like you did not right in front of you. Like you watched a clip or something, right?
Oh, you can do it with moving images now?
Yes.
Oh.
That doesn't just have to be.
I'm mostly talking about wooden carving.
It doesn't even have to be cuneiform. So wait, who would I'm sorry. Who would you have? Who
You're trying to be nice is what's happening. That's why it's so slow.
I'm honestly
Okay.
confused. Who would you have given the money to?
The people who made the, like in the old days when you'd pay for porn.
Like
You-
buying it.
Yeah. With
I see.
money. Yeah.
But that
It's
doesn't
all free now.
right.
Yeah, but lots
Right.
of stuff. Think about podcasts.
Yeah, but there's no ads. I know how this is working. It's not right. And the thing is, I could go pay, but then it's on my credit card, and I
There's
don't really
ads.
want that situation. Oh, there are ads. You're right. There are ads. I'm not paying enough attention to the ads, but you're right. Oh, this may make me feel
But
better.
are you talking? Yeah, because you're not like
Yeah.
ripping it or getting a torrent of it or something, are you?
I don't know how to do that now.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean,
like
I did in like
porn-
1999, but
Right.
not anymore. You're right. There's ads.
Yeah, so I heard anyways.
Everyone's made whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. No pun intended. That's great.
Yeah, don't feel bad.
Thanks, guys. Well, now I know it's just me because I hadn't just done the basic math.
Yeah,
Okay. Great.
because where my mind went was, but whoever if you're paying,
I
for
don't
it,
think
is
they're-
the talent even making the money? But
I think it is being ripped, and I think the ads aren't going back to the talent.
Yeah,
I don't
who
think
knows?
it's right. Yeah.
But if you do Tony's ethical porn,
I gotta look into. Thank you guys. I'm gonna look into this ethical porn. Sounds boring. I'll look into the ethical porn.
did you know Greg Fitzsimmons, my childish co-host on podcast Childish,
And the host of Idiot Savants.
yes, which you were on
Yep.
with Dave Holmes.
No,
or
he was
also
on separately. He was on a different show, but yeah.
We haven't talked about this in a long time, so maybe he's moved on. But he was super into hidden camera Japanese massage parlor porn, but believes
Right.
100% that it's all real.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. That's not my thing.
I'm
not judging. I'm just saying that's not my
I've
thing.
never seen it,
Right.
and I can speak to the fact that there's no way
That
this
is
is real.
is specifically in so many ways not my thing.
What are all the ways?
Hidden camera, Japanese porn, all the ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want that hidden camera thing. I think that just, I'm more into someone like the boldness. Like what fascinates me about porn is just like, it's so different from me. It's someone, it's like seeing Iggy Pop or something. Like, you just have no fear. Like, you're just bold. And if it's
Right.
like, I don't want to sneak up and watch,
Yeah.
I can do that with myself. I don't need that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have also never seen it, but I guarantee it is not real.
Well, I think you should hold you
Check
off your
it
judgment
out.
until you see it.
Tony,
Yeah.
have you ever seen this?
I have not, but I did want to ask if either of you were aware of. There is a. I'm confused. It seems like this wouldn't have been shown, but you can find these like just on YouTube. There is a Japanese show that was they would have contestants doing karaoke, and then the lower half of them is behind a curtain because a girl would be down there jerking them off while they're doing karaoke. And their goal would to try to be able to still finish the song.
Oh my gosh.
We should pitch that too.
Just rip it off?
Yeah.
Or like the American version of it.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who are we pitching this to? John Lovett? Okay. Yes.
Sing it or leave it.
All right. And do you have a hey, go fuck yourself?
Oh, I did. I thought about, but yeah, you're not going to like this either.
No, I reserve. I check my judge. It's now a safe space again. Again, I don't know what came over me.
It was so intense.
was-
Your eyes got fiery.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. It was weird. I cannot. Honestly, just to be a little bit too real. Clearly, I was projecting in that moment.
Oh, what's going on?
Or no, not projecting.
Yeah.
It was a transference react. Whatever it was.
Something's going on in your life about this.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. But clearly, like
okay.
whoever I was yelling at,
Yeah.
you were not you in
Yeah.
that moment.
Yep.
And it wasn't fair. You didn't deserve that.
Thank you.
I don't know.
That I feel
I'm
healed.
sorry. Okay,
Thank
good.
you. This is the go fuck yourself.
Yes.
I don't like people texting me. I do not like texting. I find it interruptive. I find it. I don't like to be with my phone, so I don't. I've told everyone in my life that I don't like to be texted, and none of them listen. No, I shouldn't say that. There's like 2 people in my life who didn't text me, but everyone else texts me, and I don't know. And again, it's an unreasonable request because this is like it's like asking not to be part of modern society. But I do want them all to go fuck themselves.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
How do you want them to communicate with you?
Well, you've made some assumptions already. I still I'm fine with email. And I feel like this text confuses me because I feel like the whole movement, starting with the millennials, was to what's the phrase when you control the time when you watch something? It's all you know, like it's all, everything's on demand, right? You order your food on demand, you watch your TV show on demand, like you're not on someone else's schedule. So I feel like email is on demand. I respond to you when I want to, you respond to me when you want to, we're all on our own time. But the texting, everyone wants it right away. I mean, my notification's off, but it interrupts you when you're doing something, and then it gets buried. So I don't even remember which ones I answer and which ones I don't. People are trying to have a conversation with me that I'm supposed to remember. Like, it's not interesting enough to remember this conversation that I'm going to come back to.
Right.
Yeah. I would not have done well with online dating.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't understand texting. I don't understand emoticons, and I don't understand the young people.
Do you and your wife communicate via text?
Sometimes, but I don't love it. I use Signal sometimes.
Oh, what is that?
It's like a double encrypted text thing, but I only do that when I don't want to send an email because I'm afraid that the Sony hack messed me up because during the Sony hack, there were just tons of people who worked at Sony whose emails were suddenly searchable when it all got put on by WikiLeaks. And there were just normal people who like worked at Sony or communicated with Sony whose like personal emails were now searchable. So like there was one guy whose like daughter was anorexic, and then everyone at her college knew. And it just seemed like I just don't want to be talking about my friends or relatives with my wife on email.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Joel Stein.
I got real old manny. Got AARP in the very end, didn't it?
No.
Okay.
It got
a little too real for you.
No, I'm just honestly, I'm looking at the time, and I am not wanting to keep you from wherever you have to go.
I'm going to take my wife out for dinner. It's our date-iversary. Is that something that adults are supposed to do? Probably not. It's the day of our first date.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's Daniel and my half.
No, that doesn't matter.
No, you don't get that?
No, half anything isn't. Yeah.
Fine. Look, I'm sorry I yelled at you.
Thank you.
I don't feel good about it.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you'd like what you're hearing, or even if you don't, make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a nice comment, 5 stars, please. It helps with the show. Tell your friends. Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. I am on Patreon, and it's rude that I'm doing my plugs before I've done all of your plugs, Joel.
No.
And don't worry, I'm going to swing back around.
No.
I'm going to get all of yours in. Don't you worry.
I'm here to see you.
Thank you.
Be yelled at.
I'm on Patreon. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Bonus episodes of The Friend Zone. That is my Patreon bonus podcast. There's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. Not everyone hates texting like Joel.
No, that's fine for them.
Yeah, and people love it. And all sorts of other fun stuff. I'm on Cameo, and listen to my other podcast, Childish and Upworthy Weekly, my lighthearted news podcast that comes out on Saturdays. And Joel, where can we find you, and what should we listen to?
I am on Google Plus, and I am on MySpace, and I am on OnlyFans. So those are the main spaces. And then my podcast, Story of the Week.
Yeah, and they can find you at the Mandalay Bay with Chris Harrison.
I haven't been there in so long. I went out to interview Dana White for the Financial Times magazine, but I didn't stay at the Mandalay Bay. Stayed at the Venetian. I feel bad now.
You cheated on them.
I did. I moved on. But just the only place to find me is this podcast.
Story of the Week. Listen to it. It has a great song, and it's a great podcast. And Tony, where might we find you?
Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and my show Bizarre Albums every Tuesday, and I'm gonna be playing drums with Jonah Ray doing his Weird Al punk covers at the Sardine in San Pedro on the 22nd.
Oh my
and
God.
Zebulon in LA here in LA on the 23rd.
That's a great place, Zebulon.
Yeah, I like that place.
Oh, wow.
I've never gotten to play. I've only been there. So yeah,
Did you see Weird?
I did. Watched it a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, really fun.
Nice. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for apologizing.
You are welcome. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen is your new best